You won't believe the secrets she hid beneath her erotic virgin image. We dive into one of the biggest paradoxes of the early 1960s in this video, a trend-setting sex goddess entangled in sad love affairs. Critics praised her as the ideal woman, but they had no idea about the scandalous truths about her real self. Did Doris Day's bedroom have more visitors than her fans ever imagined? Movies are made-believes, while reality is the truth regardless of what you believe, and that is why famous Hollywood talents turn out to be a huge irony of their screen persona when compared with their life off-screen. Highly celebrated Doris Day is one lady described as the iconic paradox of the early 1960s, so cherished as an erotic virgin and truly seen as the girl next door, but behind the scenes she is nothing but a trendy sex goddess with terrible secrets and sad love relationships. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, "What will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich?" Here's what she said to me: "Que sera, sera." I guess you still remember this lyric by this lovely lady. Doris Day won more than hearts with her highly inspirational songs and cute screen persona. As a huge fan, I only wish I could turn back the hands of time, but as she said, the future is not for us to see. Whatever will be, will be. If only wishes are horses, beggars would ride. That's how I would feel each time I remember this wonderful lady, with her powerful influence on humanity with those natural endowments. Doris Day was perfectly portrayed as a conventional icon amidst a growing counterculture. She was a cute and fascinating blonde, whose luminous screen manifestation and sleek singing vocal ensured for her a box office hit and top charting songs from the 1940s up to the 1960s. A cursory look at Doris Day's real-life story shows a contradictory image of what she was known for in the movies. She is simply an exceptional talent that distinguished herself among her peers with a special kind of graceful charm and natural femininity. Critics say she made herself an embodiment of an ideal woman during her era. She was a virginal but sexy, ambitious career-wise but unpretentious, with an easygoing charm that gave her an edge over others, as the quintessential girl next door. This on-screen sexual virgin made history as a singer before switching to movies, where she achieved even greater stardom. She is fondly remembered as an epitome of post-war pop culture. Day surely especially touched American lives, even though her personal story did not quite fit into her honey image. She had to put up with a series of heartbreaks and would pen down some of her troubles in her 1975 expose as put together by historian A.E. Hotchner. Fans shockingly had a glimpse into the life of their flawless girl, even though she would not approve of that image because it did not add the requisite happiness to her life. This unique American talent's earliest career exploit came with a big band, where she proved her mettle with double #1 soundtracks, Sentimental Journey and My Dreams Are Getting Better All the Time, in 1945, working with Les Brown and his band of renown. Doris Day would leave the band to pursue a personal dream career, leading to the diversification of her talent both in movies and as a powerful vocalist, with hundreds of remarkable songs to her credit. And in no time, Day rose to superstardom and became one of the biggest Hollywood movie stars of her time. After her film debut in Romance on the High Seas, she established her place in the industry, appearing in different movie genres. Fans would remember her with the title role in Calamity Jane and her remarkable performance in The Man Who Knew Too Much, put together by Alfred Hitchcock, but her most interesting film role arguably would be 1959's Pillow Talk, which she did with Rock Hudson and got nominated for Best Actress Academy Award. Born Doris Mary Kappelhoff, Day is a native of Cincinnati, Ohio. Her parents, Alma Sophia and William Kappelhoff, are a working-class family of a homemaker mother and a music instructor father. The Kappelhoffs are traced to German descent. Sources say she was named after actress Doris Kenyon, and for most of her life Day had a way of overcoming big obstacles and quickly transcending them. First, it was her father's infidelity that caused her parents to separate, ensuring that the young talent is left early in life to create her path, a period she got interested in dance, and sooner was part of a dance duet with Jerry Doherty, which performed in national competitions. She sang in local nightclubs and on the radio, and later with a swing rock band, and by the time she joined major band stakeholders like Les Brown, teenage Doris Day had chosen her stage name and worked so hard for success until she was 23, the age she put on her first hit song, Sentimental Journey. The song was very popular as a wartime American hit. The extraordinary fame endeared her to Hollywood, as director Michael Curtiz decided to cast her in his Romance on the High Seas, alluding that her specs made her appear like the all-American girl. For the next coming years, Day waxed strong as both musical and dramatic talent and became a top box office attraction, with several accolades including a Golden Globe win. It seems Doris Day got to the peak of her career and felt it was wise to leave the scene with her success intact, as we saw in the late 1960s, when she took a bow from the movie business to focus on something else, as fans saw her devoting the rest of her life to animal charities, founding the Doris Day Animal Foundation. Retired but not tired, Doris Day continued to make headlines as a popular public figure and continued to be a guest on a variety of talk shows till such a time that her strength could no longer carry her. Several years down the line, her series of historic post-war movies has continued to influence a generation of fans, especially women's fashion and lifestyle choices. Sometimes I'm tempted to ask what the noise about Doris Day is, if not for her unique screen attraction, but her charm would not be complete without a definite mention of her delightful, fresh and vibrant voice, generally believed to have been influenced by Ella Fitzgerald's singing style. Beyond singing, Day's ability to showcase tempting and uniquely passionate imagery of sexual purity was quite exceptional. Her regular portrayal of romantic but innocently suggestive sexual subjects on screen will suffice. Doris Day, critics observed, was very perfect in the way she accomplished a combination of sex appeal and suitable feminine chastity, as was seen in a scene of her Pillow Talk performance. She conveyed an explicit horror and repulsion each time she was confronted with a bachelor issue, especially out-of-wedlock intimacy. She did several dramatic acts that tilted toward this, and noticeably fans say she couldn't have been lovelier appearing as James Stewart's spouse in the thriller The Man Who Knew Too Much, where she first sang her trademark song, Que Sera, Sera, Whatever Will Be, the future's not ours to see, Que Sera, Sera. Doris Day found favour in her film roles, as she was typecast mainly in certain kinds of romantic roles that was described at the time as sex comedies. Every one of Day's characteristic performances followed a unique pattern, perhaps designed to applaud the female virgins still holding on to their gift. To perfectly depict this, Doris Day was bold, emphatic, yet friendly even among the horde of deceitful leading men like Rock Hudson, Clark Gable and Cary Grant. Did she win them over from their conventional lady-killer lifestyle? That was what made her act even more unique, as the audience saw charm that made the men drop their ideas and rather propose marriage. This honey image is what made her a darling of the era, with a particular writer describing her acts as the Doris Day routine of flirting with the bed but never getting there. However, Day's personal life was far from what fans knew, and it is rather a paradox that even those who already crossed her path off-screen are cajoled by her pure femininity influence on wider society to see her as such. I heard about a joke where someone said he knew Doris Day before she became a virgin, implying that she may not be as pure as her Hollywood persona. At some point in her career, Doris Day got herself acclimatized with the model womanhood typecast that she had to turn down roles that contradicted such values. This was the case when Mike Nichols wanted her to play in The Graduate as Mrs. Robinson. The sexy, seductive, mature lady tried to seduce Dustin Hoffman as a love interest. Day rejected the role, telling fans that the part offended my sense of values, as it obviously would have changed her career image perception. But the same cannot be said of her turbulent personal life that saw her marrying 4 times, and hardly seems to get it right each time, and other issues that caused her pain. Quoting Doris Day, A.E. Hotchner wrote, "My public image is unshakably that of America's wholesome virgin, the girl next door, carefree and brimming with happiness." She added that what people see about her on screen is more make-believe than any film part she had ever played. All through her life, Day had to contend with failed relationships that are often violent or abusive and in the hands of excessively controlling men. For this reason, she once talked about her first husband, with whom she had a child, as a psychopathic sadist. Her subsequent marriages did not look exactly better, not with the report that her third husband, an agent, Martin Melcher, squandered her income and left her with about $500,000 in debt at the time of his death. I also hear that the marriage was such a headache for Day to the extent that Melcher had to put her on a contract that she knows nothing about, the 5-year TV show on CBS known as The Doris Day Show, which she had to battle with the network thereafter for creative control, just so she can offset her debts. Maybe I should also mention the very odd and regrettable twist of Day's counterculture, when her name reportedly came up indirectly, following her son's unfortunate link with cult lord Charles Manson and other issues that played out. If what her memoir says, your cute Doris Day may have been the biggest bombshells of her time, with the revelation that she dated Ronald Reagan and others. Perhaps she had perfectly hidden that aspect of her life for a time too long, that she felt it would be right to disabuse minds at the right time and through personal explanation. Her best-kept secret is what she had in mind when she said, "I'd like to deal with the true, honest story of who I am." Doris Day categorically told her fans that she lived a different kind of life from what they see her do on the screen. "This image has nothing to do with the life I've had," she explained. Her marital life in particular was a serious mess. The first time she said "I do," which later became a fairy tale, was in 1941, when she married trombonist Al Jordan, having worked with him in several musical bands. Not too long after the marriage, Day discovered that she had married a man different from the Jordan she used to know. What she described as a pathologic jealousy began in what she said would make a nightmare out of the next few years of her life. On how they started, Day said she was just 16 when Jordan asked her to go out with him to the cinema. In describing how she hated him then, she said, "He's a creep. I wouldn't go out with him if they were giving away gold nuggets at the movie." But her mother thought otherwise, even though her daughter didn't like the Jordan of a man. Not even the wide age gap between 23 years old Jordan and her daughter was considered, or the unreliability of some musician that could have affected her career. She thought that her mother threw all caution to the wind. Although Doris was still very young at the time, observers say she was not a stranger to sex because of her parental peculiarity, with reports suggesting that she had once caught her father having sex in the room next to hers, and only cried herself to sleep in the absence of her mother. Barely 48 hours after their wedding, Day hinted that Jordan gave her an early shock when he hit her badly on seeing her take a wedding gift from his bandmate. Then, like a nightmare, it becomes the beginning of a series of abuse that supposedly continued for months. She almost left the marriage but for the fact that she became pregnant with their child Terry. Her trauma continued even with the pregnancy. Disheartened, Day remained silent while making clandestine arrangements to abandon Jordan, and regrettably by the time she finally left him, he had no other choice than to take his own life in 1967. Doris Day also had a few remarkable affairs. She had met and fell in love with the future US President Ronald Reagan when they played together in the 1952 movie The Winning Team. I'm not sure why they did not marry, but that affair took place briefly before she took her third marital oath with another man. If what Day revealed in her memoir is anything to go by, her love relationship with Reagan was unique, as the politician was a different person from his later White House personality. Reagan's dancing skill and his oratory prowess may have been the charm that impressed Day. While he was not a politician at the time, he had, of course, a unique personality that tinted towards that because she thought he was engaging, strong, and very voluble. Doris Day was also married to saxophonist George Weidler for about 3 years before she got involved with Martin Melcher. Facts available suggest that at the time she met, fell in love and married Melcher, she thought that she had finally met the love of her life, even as he became obsessed with everything about her, including her finances. Confirming the saying that it is not all that glitters is gold, Doris Day only discovered that she had been milked dry by the man she loved after his demise. This is what Doris Day, who died of pneumonia at the age of 97, meant when she said she thought she'd found the solid, serene life I had been seeking. And like the proverbial marital nightmare, she remembered being puzzled by one man who slept with me, adopted my son, managed my career and business life, she was quoted. But wait, the intrigue continues with a riveting revelation. Did Sylvia Sidney use her tool to win roles? Prepared to be astonished as you click on this video.